Thank you for your speech, and you talked about traveling. I personally traveled so much. I've been on a 25-year self-imposed, I'm not leaving the country, so I do get what you're saying. And that's because I traveled so much that I just was tired of it. So I really appreciated a lot of the things that you said. You talked about traveling and meeting with locals and stuff. So can you tell us some of the places you've been?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that question. So I've been to, in no particular order, Morocco, Tahiti, Venice, all around Switzerland, many places across the United States, Mexico, I'm sure I'm looking at France, England, many places around England, many places around France.
Cool. Where was the most interesting place you have been?
Well, one of the most interesting places, and it's indelible in my mind, I was a very little girl because my mother started us traveling when we were 3 or 4 years old. And in fact, I took my first independent flight to Switzerland for an entire summer by myself at the age of 12. So we started early in my family, but one of my most crystallized memories is of snorkeling in a pristine coral reef and seeing so many tropical fish swimming all around me, and the water was this incredible aquamarine blue that was glistening like a polished gemstone, and the sand on the beach was soft and white, and the water was shallow, and it just went out for miles and miles. And I almost died because you don't know when in those conditions how far out you are, and I was almost decapitated by a speedboat.
That would be bad.
Like that, close to me. So, all in all, I think that's one of the most interesting places that I was ever. I was just a little girl.
Great. Well, we're glad that you're here and not decapitated. That's a plus. So you gave us a lot of great tips about how to mix with the locals. And you know, that's always a really interesting experience, at least in my own perspective. What are some of the things you've done that you think that maybe your average tourist really hasn't seen? Give us a couple examples.
That would be a very long list, so it's hard to know where to start.
Pick one or two. Hey.
Let me say that it's the difference between seeing a picture in 2D as opposed to 3D. When you're a tourist, you see the Taj Mahal, and it's a beautiful and inspiring building, and the smells are unique, and the light is unique, and you're wandering around, and it is a very impressive experience. But imagine what it would be like if you're with 5 of your new best friends and they take you inside the building and up a staircase where no one else is going, but it's okay because you're with them. And you get past some security and they speak to them in Hindi or what have you, and you're waved through, and suddenly you're standing on the balcony overlooking this monumental palatial structure. It's not just even about the view at that point. It's about who you are being and what this view informs you. You cannot get that from just being a mere observer.
Great point. Have you traveled any in Asia? You've talked about Europe, the United States, and a few other places. Have you traveled any places in Asia?
Actually, not.
Okay, just curious. I got to travel a lot. I was on submarines, and we'd actually surface and go places, so that was great. Okay, so you spoke about your mother being a travel agent. Now, are you a travel blogger, or do you act as a travel agent in some respects? You were explaining that. I'm just curious.
Thank you. My ambition is to be a creative real estate investor. I'm very comfortable with the idea of spending other people's money, which is something that you learn to do. When you're an investor, you get the opportunity to meet people who know more than you. You become the leg man. You have to know how the deals are done, but they're not that complicated, from what I can see. And everywhere that I go, I see amazing places that I know I could buy. I could look at the real estate section, or I look at abandoned buildings, and I just go, well, I could get this place, and then I could turn that over, and the money that I generate from that, I could go to the next place and do it again. And so that's my fantasy. But perhaps by this time next year, I may have already done my first deal. So that's kind of where I'm hoping to go in the next few months.